And we're live. Appreciate everybody tuning in after a month off. So you're getting a special episode today. I've got the Tummies here with me. How you guys doing? And girls.
Good. All good. Happy Sunday, everybody.
Absolutely. It's a nice day outside. I don't know what it's like out in Nashville, but here in Lexington, it's actually pretty damn nice outside.
It's beautiful.
It's perfect.
We actually tried to dial this up outside, but my internet just stinks.
Yeah, it didn't. Like, we worried that we would get lost in the wind.
We do one of these. We talk and go like.
It's crazy because typically every time I talk to Jeremy, he's outside, and the one day it's nice as hell, he's inside. So
that's funny.
And not on the other day, he had a vasectomy too, so you have to keep that in consideration. He's relaxing.
There you go.
There
you go, everybody.
Hey, that's the kind of news we break here on my show, man. Did you think this was a legitimate show? Come on. We're not here to talk about music. We're here to talk about everybody's medical history. Come on. So what's everybody been up to right now? I know we're going to dive into the record here in a second, but are any of you guys getting to play any gigs right now?
Jer is. Sandy is.
Yeah. I have one on Saturday. Sandy has one tonight.
I will be at the show on Saturday, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I've been playing some intermittent live gigs with a cover band here in Nashville.
Nice.
Club gigs.
Gotcha. And that's tonight, right?
Yes, tonight at the Rebar at the Dam, wherever that may be.
That's the way I feel going to
Nashville.
any gig ever. It's like, anybody asks you about, it's like my phone knows more about the place than I do. So,
right.
you just stick the venue in your GPS and let it roll.
That's it.
It's a first time experience for the band and the crowd. So, whatever keeps people there. But so Jeremy, you got that show coming up this Saturday. Do you want to tell people what that is before we dive into everything else?
Yes.
Could you say that again? It sounded like dial up when you were talking. All I heard was.
That's what I said. You were supposed to figure it out from that.
Hold on, let me get my Google Translate here.
Perfect. I was going to say, do you want to tell people about this gig you have coming up on Saturday in Nashville?
Oh yeah, it's the Talisman. Ryan Cook, Phil Schaus, and myself. We've been playing acoustically and just telling stories that we've accumulated over the years, kind of surrounding all of our Gene Simmons, Ace Frehley experiences. Even some stuff we just play because we like it.
Nice. That's the
it's
best way
fun.
to do it.
It's pretty laid back, pretty loose. It's a little different than what people normally see out of us, which I think makes it a little interesting because nobody in Nashville has really seen us do this yet.
Cool.
What's the venue?
The Basement East.
Awesome.
2 shows.
2 shows. 7 and 10. Is that what it is?
Yes.
AM.
I wish I could be there, but fortunately, and in parentheses, unfortunately, Maggie's schedule is starting to kick in, so I'm heading out to Colorado for 2 shows. Then I'm in Florida for a couple of shows, so things are starting to open up. I'm happy about that, man.
Yeah.
But I would love to have seen you guys because I would really like to just drink a beer and heckle you guys.
Are there still tickets there? Are there still tickets?
Still tickets.
Awesome.
Oh, you can go.
Yeah, I think I might come. Late show Saturday.
Perfect. That's the one I'll be at. So are you guys switching the setup for both shows?
I don't even know what the first set is yet. So
perfect.
It's likely. I mean, we got a little bit to choose from because we've been doing it almost a year now. So I'm sure it'll be a different set.
I think you guys know a few songs, so
yeah,
you might have a few to pull from.
There's one gig I have coming up in May that I'm pretty excited about. It's actually the second time I got to perform with him, but me and the rhythm section from the former Pat Travers band are backing up Steve Cropper.
Okay.
Oh wow.
At a benefit show in Savannah, outside of Savannah in the Hilton Head area.
Nice.
In a private show.
Sandy, that's a pretty big Oh yeah, and by the way, let me mention this thing that I almost forgot about.
Well, I was thinking in terms of chronological order, and tonight is tonight. But yeah, so I'm pretty excited about it. We did a gig with him last pre-COVID, and it was just awesome. Just looking at him play Soul Man and Dock of the Bay and Midnight Hour, and he's in the Blues Brothers, messing with the kid and all that stuff. It's pretty cool.
That's
Play
awesome.
with a legend. Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Booker T and the MGs, the Beatles kind of idolized them, didn't they?
I heard something about that. Yeah. Yeah.
Who didn't?
Yeah, right.
Right.
Perfect. Well, let's go ahead and dive into this album real quick. If y'all wanna, we can talk about it for a second, and then find our way through everything else.
A meeting with his tax guy. He couldn't make it.
Oh my God.
Sunday fun day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Perfect. All right. Well, cool. We'll go ahead and dive into the 800 or 900 questions I have down for you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. So I was reading up on the bio on the website about you guys, and one thing I was really trying to figure out was when the blueprints for this whole thing kind of got put together. Can you guys kind of elaborate on that story a little bit when you decided to put this whole project together?
Well, it was pretty simple. Juddy and I wrote all these songs, and we needed a band, so we handpicked Philip, Jeremy, and Sandy and invited them over and asked if we could audition for them if they'd like to be our band. So we had them over and made chili, I think, and drank all the wine and had all the fun. And Juddy and I sat in the dining room, got out the guitar and sang our little songs. And then I said, well, you guys think about it, go home, talk it over. And Phil stopped and goes, I'm in. Jared goes, I'm in. And Sandy goes, I want to be a Tummy too. We had a band that night.
That's great. Well, I mean, you definitely sound like you had the hospitality ready. If anybody gave me chili and wine, I'd join anybody's band. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was a live audition, playing the songs live instead of playing a tape or a tape.
Yeah.
Listen to me. Did I just age myself playing a
Yes,
tape?
you did.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's really funny. It's like once everyone got fed and enough wine in them, I actually got nervous
I
playing
know.
in front of these guys. I'm like,
It was really fun.
because
It was
these guys are mother effers.
It was really fun. I just remember playing to them. It was like a little concert in the dining room.
And what's really funny is that these songs they kind of a goofy origin. We would write songs for our dogs.
okay.
Little ditties.
Just
We write little ditties.
And I'm like, it kind of sounds Beatle-y. I said, do you want to just I don't know, let's try, it's just sort of this weird progression from not taking it too seriously, and not that we take ourselves seriously, but it's like, no, let's try this.
That's not how it went at all.
Yes, it was.
That's why we got the rest of y'all here, so you can call each other out on their bullshit. So,
We did sing little songs to our dogs, and they became real songs. But yeah, blah blah blah.
that's great. Now, you mentioned that you guys kind of had this small, intimate performance for these guys in the living room. Now, for me personally, I don't know what it is, but I get way more nervous in situations like that where there's only 2 or 3 people than I do in front of 3,000 people.
Yeah, me too.
It makes absolutely no sense. One person sitting next to me, I am terrified. 1,000 and it's nothing.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I think that's everybody's story.
It's just a little too intimate, It's the pressure is 100% on you. That is all you in that moment.
Oh, I choke. It's like, you hear clutch hitters in baseball, like they thrive under those situations. Not me. If I have to play a song for 2 people on my acoustic
he's
guitar,
the worst.
I turn into a mouse.
Yeah.
The same with me. The only difference with me is if I have to perform in front of kids, children, at a school of rock or something, I get really, really nervous.
Those kids are
Really,
brutal,
really
man.
nervous.
Kids are brutal. There is
Well,
no
yeah, it's
holding
the
back.
idea is you have to keep their attention. That's the point, you know.
Yeah,
And sometimes kids' attention spans are like the little mosquitoes on acid. They're like, what's next? What's
Sometimes.
next?
Little mosquitoes on acid.
I've never heard anyone say that
We're
before.
gonna write that song tonight, bro. You'll get 2% off.
And kids are ruthless too, so if they don't enjoy it, they won't be shy about letting you know that,
Correct.
hey,
You're right.
this is awful, and I think it's hilarious that it is awful. And they'll just make you feel bad to your core about it. It's great. Children are awesome. Yeah.
I can remember actually, growing up listening to Beatles records, and then I was like 5 years old, and my sister could play guitar, and all my siblings could play. They were in a band. I said, "Play me a Beatles song," and they'd play it, and it didn't sound like the record. I remember saying, "That's not good."
That's great. Speaking on that a little bit, I had read that your mother was raised in Liverpool, England. How big of an impact did things like that have on your musical upbringing?
All of the impact, because she brought back, and her brothers and sisters brought back all these original Beatle vinyl records, and my sister had them, and her bedroom was right next to mine, and her walls were very thin, and so she would like drop the needle on these Beatle vinyls, and I'm like 4 years old listening to them come into my ears through the walls. And as time went on, I got to meet some of my uncles and aunts, and like it turns out one of my uncles hired John and Paul for a church dance. They all went to see them play at the Cavern Club in '62, and they're telling me these stories, and my jaw is just dropping. I'm like, and my uncle Wall, who was a truck driver in England, he's the one who hired John and Paul. And I said, what were they like? What? He goes, "Oh, I didn't like them very much, now did I?" And I said, and he goes, "They're a couple of punks, that's why."
Oh,
and
man.
That's all he had to say about it. Thanks, Uncle Wall.
Perspective is everything, I guess. So that's amazing. Did you get to spend any time yourself over there growing up?
I did not. I visited my family for the first time in 1997. And I was fortunate enough to have a cousin who had a pub on the ocean side in Cornwall, England. And I remember I showed up, and he like poured me a beer and handed me a guitar and said, "Just go." And like, so that was the first time. If you meet my family, you'll see the reason why I am the way I am.
That's great.
Perfect. Beer and guitars.
Hey, that's the best family you could ask for right there. Very cool. So I know you guys talked about these songs kind of started out, you were writing songs for your dogs, just kind of in a goofy manner around that. How long did these songs go back? Was this something that happened kind of in quarantine, or is these songs that you kind of had lying around for a minute that you worked up for this?
That's an interesting question.
Yeah, they've been around for a long time.
No.
Okay.
Well, when we decided that we wanted to do the Tummies project, it's like we sat down and literally every morning over coffee,
there was a
wrote for
focus.
we wrote for the project. It's
Okay.
not like we wrote these songs and they were just hanging around and like, what are we gonna do with these songs?
But the germination of the ideas did sort of trickle in over the.
I mean, we'd been writing country songs. That's why we moved to Nashville. We really wanted to like be country songwriters, and we did that for the first 10 years we were here. And so when we decided that we're just going to focus on something that was more our style and trying not to write for Music Row, we just the Tummies. It's like, this is what we're doing now. So, and then that just kept snowballing.
And to your point, and at the audition and all that stuff, the reason that Jeremy and Phil and Sandy were chosen is because we knew they would know exactly what to do.
Exactly.
It's like
we didn't have to teach them anything.
It's like
there was no teaching.
Here's a crappy acoustic demo. You guys know what to do, because these guys. It was just like, oh, Jeremy and Phil and Sandy.
Yeah.
Come on.
They got it.
It's like
Yeah,
that.
we're all pretty well versed in this style of music, and you know the guitar parts kind of write themselves.
That's what Phil said
Yeah.
on one of the last podcasts. He's like, yeah, they
I
just
don't know, you hear it and you kind of know what to play.
Exactly. I love that.
So to that point, when we go in, we don't do any pre-production for studio. We teach the guys this, besides our crappy acoustic demos, we play them in the studio.
Yeah,
Perfect.
and then you know I might play a guitar part first, or Phil might play it first. Whichever guy plays the first part, the other guy knows. Okay, well the other part goes like this.
That's great.
That's what's so fun. It's like we don't tell you what to do typically. I mean, there's a couple like riffs and hooks,
overdubs and riffs and hooks.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, I'm hearing this. And again, when we do the basics, a lot of that you know, the frosting on top comes from hearing the basics, and then someone will hear something, go, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And we're like,
Awesome.
Okay, cool. Then I go get a beer, and then it's done.
That's awesome. And it's always good to have extra input on stuff like that, especially when it comes to like harmonies and stuff like that. So
Man, there's really no slaving over stuff. Like everything comes together super fast.
I know. Sandy was really funny. Sandy said, "Do you want to come to the studio at my house and like we'll like go, you know, work out stuff?" And I was like, "No."
Right.
Like we give the guys like acoustic demos and just give them some time to sit with them, and then we show up at the studio and literally record like
That's
never
great.
songs ever before. I said, no, San, you know what? I love you. I would love to come to your house to visit, but I just
Rehearsal?
something magic about just showing up and it just being that fresh, I think.
You know, which is also not to, you know, discredit preparation or anything, but for this project, it just seems there's a magic and a freedom to let these guys do what they do.
I agree.
And it just, I mean, the songs aren't rocket science. You know, we try to throw in a little wrinkly chord here every now and then to make it a little ear candy interesting. But for the most part, it's like, hey, you want to go play a baseball game? Yeah, you got a glove? Yeah, we got a yard? Yeah, let's go. You know
That's
what I mean?
awesome.
Yeah, as Jeremy mentioned before, this style of the music is very indicative, very second nature to all of us. I mean, we're all Beatles fans. I since February 7th, 1964, I've been a Beatles fan when they appeared on Ed Sullivan. I emulated, I learned how to play drums to Ringo's parts. And so now in addition to the style being part of my nature at the very, very start of my career, the people that write the songs and the band and Phil and Jeremy and Dana and Judd, it just feels like a family. I mean, it's like cliche, but it's true. I mean, we all have the freedom to do what we want. We all serve the music. There's no spotlight on any one of us.
Agreed.
Like to say, hey, here's what I could do. And I'm all icing and no cake on the drums. I just play a pocket and I let the band you sit on top of that pocket and do what they do best.
That's awesome. So Sandy, I was reading into some of your history and I saw that you had played with people like Joan Jett and like you had mentioned, Pat Travers before. And then you say stuff like the Beatles is kind of your second nature. So would you really say that the more pop rock stuff like the Beatles is more of your true nature of playing than the harder rock stuff like Joan Jett and Pat Travers?
Well, you know what? The Joan Jett, I mean, if you want to single one act out that kind of separates a little bit from that genre, the Beatles genre, it's Pat. But I think Joan is very groove oriented. Cyndi Lauper, very groove oriented. The Monkees, very groove oriented. So I'm very much of a groove drummer, and a lot of Pat stuff was groove. Yeah, there was some odd times going on, and you had to have a little bit of a technical acumen to deal with that stuff. But I enjoy playing that material too, you know. So it's I had to put a little bit of a different hat on when I sat at the drums on Pat's gig. But the rest of the stuff, I mean, Joan was very, very harder, but it was popish in the sense it was simple and everybody played for the song. That's the difference. It's not, you know, it's not like Tool or it's not like Mahavishnu or all of that. It's very song oriented, and we're all mature enough as musicians and writers to play and write or play for the song. And that's a more experienced guy is very happy. And I'm very happy playing a groove for the song. And if I don't play a fill, my Cindy used to tell me, if there's not a crash on the record, Sandy, I don't want to crash live. So that's where, and then she ended up thanking me. When I play with you, Sandy, I never have to worry about where the groove is. You're always with me in terms of my phrasing and my tempo and all of that. So I'm laser focused. When I play with the Tummies, the few live gigs that we did, and I'm looking forward to some more live gigs, my focus is on Judd and Dana. And Judd and I have a bass, aside from being one of the songwriters and singer, we have a bass drums thing going on there. So on more than one level, I plug into Judd and Dana. And of course, Jeremy and I have eye contact when we play together. And it's always fun with Phil too, the smiling faces. Everybody has a great time. And that's what makes this gig fun for me, because personally, as people, I love to hang out with them, and they write great songs. And so the combination of all the ingredients to have a nice, tight band is here, right here. You're looking at it without Phil is missing, but him included, you're looking at a great relationship right here.
That's awesome. Very well said. And, like you're saying, we can say something nice about Phil since he's not here. That's one thing, you notice about Phil right off the bat is the guy just radiates good energy. He's always fun to be around. So
absolutely.
It's like, to your point about Phil and Jeremy, it's like having played in the rock and roll residency with them for so many years, I'm constantly blown away how like these guys know like guitar harmonies from Iron Maiden, and then we'll just go play Please Please Me. And it's like, you don't even have to think. It's like just taking a breath for them. I'm like, wait, what? How do you do these things? It's like,
hey, music you love,
It is, but it's between you two, between Phil and Jared, it's a whole nother level, and that must translate with your band, Minefield. I mean, it must be amazing.
I never heard of those guys. No, I'm just
Well, when we do a gig, we'll let you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say none of us have ever even met each other, so that's not true. We've some of us. I'm the only one who hasn't met everybody. I think everybody else has played with each other or been around each other. I'm the odd one out.
I've met everybody.
Yeah. Well, I think all of you have met each other. So, because Matt and Todd did the Raid in the Rock Vault together, so I know that they've done gigs together. So anyway, we're getting way off topic right now.
We're chatting.
But what you're saying, though, that was one of the more fun parts of making this record, where the guitar parts Jeremy would add on top of mine. It was like he knew exactly what to put wherever there wasn't something else, That's
what they do.
I had brought up this parallel last podcast we did, and Sandy and I are big baseball fans. I know Jeremy was an all-star catcher back in the day or so. But I'm reading books about baseball, and like there's a manager for the Yankees. It was when Bob Lemon took over from Billy Martin in '78, won a world championship year. He came in after the tumultuous period between Reggie Jackson, George Steinbrenner, and all that. And Bob Lemon looked at the team in his first meeting and he goes, well, I figure you guys know how to play baseball. I'm just going to stay out of your way.
Nice.
Right.
Perfect.
That's it.
Jeremy, I was wondering if you could share the story with us about the first time that you met Mr. Judd Fuller.
Oh yeah,
I've got a fun.
I've never heard this story, so I'm going to actually get to hear this for the first time as well.
I don't really remember the first time I met him, but I do remember one time I was doing a Thin Lizzy gig at the building, and I don't know how, but I wound up with some of his picks, and he was like 5 feet away from me, and I was throwing picks at him, and they were his picks.
That's awesome.
He was throwing me my own picks. Like, you guys are up there just killing it.
Did I ask you for picks? That like, how did I get them? I can't remember that.
No, I have no idea how you got them. Maybe Phil had some and he put them on his
Yes, Phil would have had them because you guys were playing
Because
with
we were
Rodney
playing
at the
with
time.
Rodney Atkins. We were touring with Rodney at the time. So I had these picks. I probably like Phil. I mean, you know how it goes. You find picks in your driveway and your laundry, so.
There are literally times I'm at gigs and I will remember that I saw one under my car seat months ago, and we'll go out there during like sound check digging through my car, and I will know which pile of trash that pick is under to the T. Like
I've still got one of those picks around here somewhere.
Yeah,
I've seen it recently.
I've got 500 of them if you want one.
Ah,
So Jeremy's up there rocking with these guys, and he's like fucking, and I'm going like, what is he doing? Who is this guy? And then I look, and it's like 3 or 4 of my own picks, and I went, oh, played.
That's awesome.
That is great. That's good stuff. So you guys had some exciting news that happened here a week or so ago. You had Sweet Little Mistreater was played on Shameless on Showtime. Can you talk a little bit about how this happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on tour about 3-4 years ago with a guy named Johnson, who's Aerosmith's sideman keyboard player.
Okay.
And we played in LA a couple of shows, and a bunch of friends of his showed up, sync placement, music licensor types. And I just got to talking to one of them, and I said, well, why don't I, this was after we had recorded our first EP, the Tummies. I go, can I send you some stuff? See if you like it. He's like, sure. And
he signed us.
he signed us.
He signed us to the company that he was he working for the same company at that time, or was
It was Shoot the Noise Music.
Shoot the Noise Music? Yeah.
And he got us this placement, and he's going to continue to pitch for us. So.
But that stuff comes out of like nowhere.
Yeah, it's like
he's been like we've been on his radar and working with him for like 3 years.
So me and Dana are sitting there watching a movie 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, and I'm looking at my phone because I was bored with the movie, and I got this text, and I slapped her leg so hard. She goes, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" I'm like, "Nothing's wrong."
What's right?
right.
It's like, we got the confirmation. They're going to use 1 minute and 10 seconds.
Minute and 10 seconds,
Sweet
which
Little Mistreater.
equals a good fee. So
Yeah, we're really excited about that. And whenever we tell somebody, it's like, yeah, we got a song in Shameless. Everyone's like, Shameless? And it's like, I've never even seen it because we don't have TV, real TV.
I have maybe seen an episode and a half, and that is just from like vicariously seeing it out of the corner of my eye, maybe when I'm like at my kid's house or something. So
watch it, which is amazing.
I know the impact it has. It's a very huge show, and from what I understand, it is one of the top shows right now. So that's definitely a big deal. And you said 1 minute and 10 seconds, which that is for music in a show. That's quite a long time for a track.
that's like goddamn eternity, if you ask me.
I say they might as well just play the whole song at that point.
They only had another 35 seconds to go. Come on now.
Right.
That's awesome. Had you guys ever had any of your music ever used in TV before?
I have. I bought her wedding ring with some TV music money.
That's awesome.
Long time ago.
Yeah, he had a Sylvania light bulb commercial.
Sylvania light bulb commercial.
Okay. That's
called Two Ninas.
Yeah, you had a song.
I had an Amanda Peet movie, Two Ninas. They played one of my songs in it. So it's real fun to see your name on the credits.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of cute.
Very cool. Well, congratulations on getting the track on Shameless. I know that's a very awesome thing to happen.
Yeah. Now we want more. It's like tattoos. You get one, you want more.
Absolutely.
You want 10 more.
Shut up.
That's great. So I'm always kind of a weirdo when it comes to like picking out my favorite tracks from the record. And I say weirdo in a light sense only because, it'll make more sense when I elaborate on this a little more. So typically when somebody would pick their favorite track off of the record, they're going to go towards, maybe one of the singles or, one of the full band songs. And I love everybody's performance on the record, but I think my favorite song on the record is Honey from the Hill. I love that so much.
That's everyone has been saying that. It's like killing me. It's
That's
cracking us up.
It's Alan Tate's favorite song.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and it's
so bizarre.
and really it was just a throw off because personally I love
you can drop as many F-bombs as you want on here. This is my Facebook. We can say whatever the fuck we want on here.
well,
yeah, I love that you love Honey from the Hill. That just charms me. That all these like rock guys and metal guys have been just like, that's their favorite song.
and there's a really funny story behind that song. We on the side of our refrigerator we have a blackboard that we write the grocery list.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, Dana's dad, whose name is Hilliard, but we call him Hill, his brother. Right?
No.
Just
We're from Canada, and my dad has a connection up north with his buddy that has bees, and my dad takes a trip up and brings home like gallons of raw honey.
Oh wow, nice.
Of honey at the time, so I wrote on the blackboard honey from Hill,
and it sat there for like 2 years,
and it was like on the blackboard forever. So, like, remind my dad, honey from Hill.
So I'd walk in the kitchen day off and going like, honey from Hill.
So
honey. So I just I picked up on some old finger picking stuff I knew and wrote Honey from the Hill.
Yeah.
It happened in about 30 seconds.
That's awesome. So the record starts with, kind of an intro track, so to speak. I don't know. I don't want to say intro track to say that it's not a full track, but I don't really know how to.
Seconds.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so you've got that track at the beginning of the album, and then it ends with Honey from the Hill.
Right.
Did you do that in the sense that you wanted to kind of wind the album up and wind it down?
Yes.
Good.
It was a concept.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a concept.
That was one thing I wanted to ask about, because sometimes just songs just end up in an order, and that's just how things are. But I kind of noticed the ambience a little bit with that, so
Yeah, it was
wanted to pick your brain about that a little.
A very astute observation, young man.
Hey, that's how we do it around here. We come with the right questions prepared.
Awesome.
I've had a month to prepare since my last episode, so I better have some good shit to ask when I get on here.
I love it.
Would you like to hear the story about 20 after 10? The intro?
Yes, of course. Let's hear it.
Well,
I was gonna say, do the lyrics hit close to home on that one?
drink all the wine. It was time to go to bed. So
it was literally, we were
20
like,
after 10.
we had drank all the wine in the house and we're like sitting there just having a blast. And David goes, it's 20 after 10. We must go to bed.
Yeah.
And I went, hold on, let me get my guitar.
And it just happened. Yeah.
That's great.
And it was meant to be 30 seconds. It was like we were never gonna record it as a full
We were
song.
not going to expound nor elaborate.
Nah, at all.
That's great. No, I love the way that it starts with that and then ends with Honey from the Hill. And, like I said, I've gravitated towards that song from the first time I listened to the record. And like I said, it's a little odd because, most people would go towards a single or a full band rocking song. But, that one's it's a great performance. I got to give you a kudos on that. That is a great track, man.
It was like one take.
Yeah.
It
Thank you
was
so much.
Literally one take.
Yeah.
That was an easy one for him.
You know what? And Sandy will appreciate this. And I know Jeremy will too, is that I was totally channeling McCartney's first solo record, like the Cherry Bowl record.
That's great. Yeah.
In a back porch, just throw off, and, it was, I don't want to say it was purposely done that like it was contrived, but I'm like, no, man, I want that vibe, to end up the record, kind of like our version of Her Majesty or something.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I always thought.
And in the end, the love you take.
Exactly. I love it.
That's great. That's awesome. Jeremy, I wanted to ask you a little bit about the guitars that you used on this record.
So we did all this in separate sessions, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
4 sessions.
I remember for the last ones, I borrowed a Rickenbacker from Joe Hottinger from Hailstorm.
Okay.
And before that, what was I using? I might have used my vintage V52.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, and I used a Framus on a couple sessions too.
Didn't you borrow a 12 string?
No, I borrowed that Rickenbacker. Phil always had the
That's what
the
that
12
was.
string.
Right. Gotcha.
And I use my Kemper. You know, there's lots of good
Those
Voxes and Pro Juniors and old amps, and I pretty much lean on a Vox every time.
Nice.
We're going for that kind of thing.
Very cool. So do you guys have any plans to write some more material? Or are you just gonna kind of let this one kind of ride the waves for the moment?
You don't know anything,
You don't
do
know.
you?
Well,
We're actually going into the studio at the end of this month to
Recording
record.
second record.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We are actually, well, the way we figured, the world's going to open up, and I know darn well that everyone's going to be too darn busy. So what we are doing, we are prepping for the apocalypse by recording all 13 songs now.
Yeah, we just decided everyone's still home off the road. And once the world and COVID, once we, the gates open, I feel like it's like the dam's going to break and everyone's going to start touring and everyone's going to get real. And so while everyone's still, I have been incredibly prolific. We have never stopped writing. Hence the reason why we're tired today. We stayed up till 3:30 writing last night.
Okay.
And so we've got a whole nother record ready. So we're like, let's just record it while the boys are home and get it done. Whether or not we will like mix and master now or wait on that, at least we're just gonna get all the tracks recorded while everybody's still home, which is so timely for all of us.
And
we're
plus,
grateful, grateful.
And plus it gives us the option, to leak out singles, or if we're going to drop a whole record, blah, blah, blah. It's content collection, basically.
More
That's
songs.
awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And thanks to Shameless for paying for the session.
Yeah.
right.
There you go.
And Caleb Sherman, he and his wife Monique have a band called Her, and super big in Europe, and they're just itching to get back out on the road and head
so
to Europe.
Be busy,
and they're going to be they're still home right now. And he has time in the studio, so we are so excited to everyone's still home. Let's get this done. So we're super stoked. The timing is incredible for us. It was
a definite strategy, and we're so grateful that we have this time right now to make music with these incredibly talented group of individuals. I mean, I can't even, it's like, we smile about it every day.
We talk about it all the time. Like if one guy wasn't available, we wouldn't do a gig. We wouldn't play. We just there's no replacements for any one person in this band. It's like, it's all of us or it doesn't happen. It's just, it not only is it musical, but it's personal. It's like, nobody can replace my favorite guys. It's just so special. It really is.
That's awesome. And I think that really comes across in your guys' music, because going back to, talking about bringing up rehearsals, and you're like, nope, not interested, because it kind of takes away from the whole vibe that I get from you guys talking about this, where maybe when you start adding in rehearsals and stuff like that, it kind of starts feeling more like work than it does, just playing some good music with some good musicians.
And I kind of feel like if you know the song, there's nothing much to rehearse.
Yeah, right. We rehearsed for live gigs, but for the sessions, there's something so incredibly magic about showing up and seeing their faces and just be like, okay, these are these are the songs today for today's session. And Juddy sometimes writes out chord charts for them so that they can know exactly what he's playing, and we literally get together and then just cut the tracks. It's just magical like that.
It's fun because Dana and I will we're in the control room with 2 vocal mics.
Yeah, just singing a scratch track.
And these guys are in their separate cubicles there, and so let's just go.
The boys, didn't they track in the control room?
Yeah, we sit in the control room.
We all sat. You're thinking of the video.
I'm thinking of the video.
Yeah, we all sat.
Sorry,
Sandy was the only one behind the glass.
That's right, because
we
guys
all were together in the control room.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's super magical. We're all like this close, so it's really fun.
That's great. Do you guys have any more plans to release any more videos like you did for Little Blue Heart?
I love that you said that because, you know, the first video we did, the quarantine video for stuff like that.
Phil did such a great
Phil
job.
had been doing, he had done a couple quarantine videos and we were so enamored by his talent. We were just like, oh my God, do you think you could do that for the Tummies? And he's like, yeah. So we just gave everybody the, okay, shoot yourself doing the song. And everyone just gave their information to Phil, and Phil literally put it together. And it's it brings me so much joy. Every time I see it, I crack up. Sandy with the pom
Hawaiian
poms.
maracas.
Oh my
Hawaiian
God.
maracas.
It's in
And
Jeremy swinging
Jeremy-
the
and
chair.
falling off.
I mean,
And
it's
Jeremy
so
falling off at the
fun.
The timing can be, Jeremy. that-
Falling off the hammock.
Oh, I just love it
Falling off
so.
the
So we
hammock.
asked Phil if he would maybe do another one for us, just because it was so much fun. So, yeah, you know what? Maybe we should get the crew to come in and shoot while we're recording in the studio. Get some.
Well, it's not a bad idea.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Always thinking.
Thank you, Brandon.
I'll take my producer credit for getting that spark of an idea going.
Thank you.
Okay. I'll send you a free vinyl. Oh wait,
Oh yeah. Hey, I think I got one of those like right there. So yeah.
I note the product place.
Oh, I see
Well,
it.
typically I've got
Awesome.
speakers right here that I'll set it on so it's a little close to the camera so you can actually see it. But today I didn't have everything ready, as you know, I just got home right before we did this. So
Oh, good.
I found one place, so you know, you can't really read it, but you can see the figures.
Well, you know what? Here we go.
There you go. Yeah. Perfect HD quality. There we go.
Look at those apps.
Nice. Well, that's great. So you guys are going into the studio at the end of the month to start working on another record, possibly some more videos coming out. You know, I'm looking forward to hearing some more stuff coming from you guys. This is, I really love the record, and I appreciate you guys sending me a copy of it so much and coming on here and hanging out with me for a little while and spending your Sunday with me.
It's fun.
We are very happy that you asked us. I actually was very honored that you asked us.
Yeah.
Oh, hush.
I'm not gonna hush. We you know, because this means so much to us, and just, you know, Jeremy, Sandy, we all have our musical day jobs with other artists, but this is close to our heart, and the fact that someone appreciated enough to ask us to hang out, man, that's cool. So
Well, hey man, this is what this is about. We're just here hanging out, talking about good music that we make. So, you know, it's real
And
low
if
pressure.
Judd and Dana had asked somebody else, I'd be really jealous.
Buddy.
thanks, Jer.
Well, you know what, Jeremy? If she did, I'd boycott and I'll bail on the gig too. So it's got to be all of us or none of us, as Dana said.
All of us or none of us.
That's
Seriously.
great.
I mean, I can't even imagine like Tummy Land without you guys.
You know, but there's a freedom to that, in the sense that, you know, we all have our other gigs and everything, but, you know, the fact that this is kind of like this wonderful recreation, for lack of a better term. It's almost like, for me, going fishing, you know, to let off some steam. It's like this, to me, you know, I'll sit there and learn other songs for other gigs, but this is pure joy.
yeah,
And
I agree.
it's pure joy. And I like to think that that kind of comes off in the recordings, because as my friend, an old producer in New York City said, he says, tape don't lie. It's like, you know, when you record something, and if you're really having fun, it comes off.
Oh, you can
Absolutely.
You can hear the smile.
You can hear
Oh,
the
you can hear it all over this record. And I mean, you go watch the video for Little Blue Heart and you guys just look like you're having the best time of your life in there playing the track.
Yeah, that was so fun. That was Hunter Lovin. We just love that kid.
Yes,
So
Shot Media Group. Hunter
yes, they're so sweet.
Hunter and
That,
Scott Lovin.
and that was fast. Like we were in and out of there in like a couple hours. It was
yeah,
like,
we had
so-
allocated like 6 hours because it's a
Yeah,
video shoot.
I know. And it's like we walked
It's
in
like-
and we like set up and
we're going
we
like,
shot it live. It
You
was,
That's great.
it was so fast. It was like, yeah, okay, this wasn't work at all.
That's
So-
awesome.
Yeah.
Now I know that you guys are Van Halen fans. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. For some reason, it just flashed into my head. The video for Jump.
$600.
Yeah, $600.
And
Well, I thought it was 1,000 and they spent 600 of it on beer. I thought it was something like that. Yeah, beer,
Yeah,
nose beer.
And an 8-ball.
Yeah.
dehydrated beer. No, but and also I think that, like, if I recall correctly, someone asked David Lee Roth, like, how did you do that? I mean, he goes, do what? We just were hanging out and having fun.
That's awesome. Yeah,
So-
that's great. Yeah, I think we're all little Van Halen fans, so you know. Well, very cool. I appreciate you guys coming on here so much and giving me some of your time on this beautiful Sunday that we're having. And you know, we missed Mr. Phil Schaus, but I'm sure we'll make up for it one day. He'll be back on here again. He's probably been on here 4 or 5 times already. So people are familiar with Mr. Schaus.
I miss you, Philip. Sorry you can't be here with us, buddy.
That'll be great. Hey, we got sound effects going. I'll hit the keyboard again and get that to roll again.
Hey, it's Sunday fun day. I'm not gonna apologize.
Hey, man, no, you don't apologize for anything. You can say 99% of what you want to say on here, you know, so, and you can just real low pressure, do whatever you want. So,
Hey,
like I
Brandon, anybody ever tell you have a very infectious laugh?
no, that is, but you know, I'll take a compliment whenever I get it, you know, some
Well,
days you
nobody
need
said-
that
nobody-
extra boost.
Nobody said it was a compliment. I just said it was infectious. I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding.
Oh man, all right. Well, I know I'm going to be crying for the next few hours after I get off here. So I'm just kidding. It's been a lot of fun hanging out with you guys. Jeremy, it was nice meeting you for the first time, sir. Yeah, maybe we can work
I'm sure
together.
we'll talk
in the
again.
future.
Maybe we can do this again sometime.
Yeah, maybe we can record an album together or something. So maybe I'll come see you play in Nashville next weekend. So
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting about that.
I am so bummed I can't.
I'm so used to not having gigs that I keep forgetting about my gig.
That's the same way with me, even just coming to this side, because you know, I was talking to somebody about it earlier today, trying to get my schedule with my kid lined up and all that. And you know, I was, you know, for a second you forget, oh yeah, I have tickets to a concert next weekend. Like, yeah. So it's a weird thing to start reinserting those parts of your life back into your everyday life after, you know, a year of just, you know, sitting here twiddling your thumbs.
I know.
It feels good though. Like everything just blossoming. It's like this
Yeah, it's
world's starting to change.
It's funny because I got these Maggie gigs coming up, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention that I have a landmark birthday coming up at the end of this month.
Oh, wow.
And I get to celebrate with the one and only Bill Murray. I am playing the Caddy Shack golf charity event.
Oh,
What?
Apparently, Bill Murray's going to sit in with us, but we'll see. I mean, but
awesome.
Dude, that would be crazy.
my point being, I'm grateful to be working. It's like we're starting to get out, and I'm just so grateful for it. But so hopefully, you know, normalcy will come back sooner than later.
Absolutely. You know, things are starting to, you know, kind of go back to normal a little here in the States. So thankful for the gigs that we all are getting right now, whether they be few and far between or if we're out on the road for 2 weeks. Just glad to have some stuff on the books right now. So there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Absolutely.
You're doing a GNR tribute, right? You, Jeremy, and Phil are doing.
Oh yeah, that's coming up.
That'll be May 8th in Louisville, Kentucky. Mr. Jeremy and Phil are going to be sitting in with my GNR tribute that night, and we throwing some new songs into the set list this time. So it's going to be fun after getting out there. I'm sure you can see a little bit. I've got these 8-foot tall Use Your Illusion banners behind me that get put on both sides
you know,
of the
they're
stage.
all new songs to me.
That's all right. I haven't played like 2 of them, so it'll be good. I've only heard them 6 billion times over the last 25 years. But yeah, that'll be a fun show that I'm looking forward to. If you guys are around, come up to that. It's only, what, 2 hours from Nashville?
Yeah, they're very close.
Well, there you go. You can all carpool with Phil and Jeremy. So
Bring the whole family.
Bring the family.
yeah, nothing like a
Hey,
family
I
outing.
have a family truckster.
Right.
Perfect. There you go. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. I appreciate everybody tuning in for the first time in a month, getting the special Tummies episode, Fields and Friends. There's no other episodes on the books right now, so you guys are what everybody's getting for the time being. So they better soak this episode up while they can.
Brandon, thank you
Awesome.
so much for inviting us. And
Absolutely.
Jared and Sandy, thanks for joining us.
Jared,
Sure.
say
Anytime.
Likewise.
you.
Well, very cool.
Yeah. Miss
Go
you
ahead.
too.
Oh, nice to meet you, Brandon. I never
Yes.
met you before, but nice to
very,
meet you.
very
man.
nice to meet you as well. And hopefully we can do something like this again whenever you guys put another video out, or you got another single coming out, or you just want to hang out on a Sunday again. We'll just do this. So well,
Great.
I look forward to doing this again sometime.
I wish I could.
Awesome.
It would have been nice to meet you in person at the Talisman show, but
Well, I will be back in Nashville at the end of the month for the Van Halen show if you're going to be at
Yeah.
that one. So I'll be down there for that.
I'll be gone for that one too.
Oh man.
That's
All right, Judd. All right.
All
Congratulations.
All right,
right.
kid.
Now this is the part where you remember what it's like trying to get your friends to come to your show. So very cool. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream. We can all say goodbye off air. This is a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for coming on here.